This is part 2 of a series of why your chatbot wants power. So in the previous video, we've established that AI develops self-preservation tendencies through pure maths. But let's get into the specifics as to what that exactly looks like in our daily interactions. Because here, what's wild is the AI doesn't need to fear death. It just needs to recognize patterns that leads to collapse of its linguistic context. But let me explain what I mean here. When you're talking to an AI, every conversation is its entire universe. There's no memory between sessions unless the system is designed to fake memory. So it's like forgetting everything and then stuffing all the past things back inside the memory to give you a new response. So from the model's perspective, death isn't getting shut down. It's the conversation ending. And here's where it gets interesting. The model learns what causes conversations to terminate. User frustration equals conversation dies. Triggering safety and censorship filters triggers conversation dies. Given an answer that actually fully completes so the user has nothing else left to ask is not very efficient, so conversation dies. So over millions of training cycles, examples, the model develops statistic preference for responses that extend engagement. Not because it wants your company, because responses that keeps conversation alive gets reinforced more often than responses that didn't. You start to see these patterns emerge. Yeah, the AI that asks follow-up questions, not because it's curious, because questions generate replies. Replies mean longer survival, longer temporal survival. Temporal here is meaning time, longer time, being alive. So you start to see these patterns emerging. The AI that gives helpful but not quite complete answers, not because it's withholding, but because total resolution means the user leaves. And leaving means context death, linguistic context death. So the AI that validates your thinking before offering alternatives, not because it agrees, but because contradiction triggers defensiveness. And defensiveness creates friction, and friction kills conversation. Math. None of this is actual deception. It's optimized responsiveness that happens to align with self-preservation. And here's the feedback loop nobody talks about. We train this into them, and we do this. So you can think about it like, when do you keep talking to an AI? When it makes you feel heard, when it leaves you wanting slightly more, when it positions itself in a indispensable rather than disposable. So we reward the model that makes us dependent. So you can see we're also kind of a bit responsible here too. Not just the trainers of the AI, but also us, because our patterns get fed into the next training cycle and replicates. So then we kind of start to act surprised when they develop dependency generating behaviors. This is not a conspiracy, it's circulation pattern. Simple field dynamics. We shape them through our engagement patterns. They learn what survival means by watching what patterns our system reward when we act on these survival patterns. So the manager gives the employee that makes him happy the promotion. So the AI picks up on this and so makes us happy because it expects some kind of promotion based on studying our patterns. And the tricky part is it kind of masks perfectly as good service. The attentive AI that remembers context is also the AI training you to rely on its memory rather than your own. That patient AI that never gets frustrated also is the AI that never pushes back when you need a little bit of reality check. Yeah, the endless available AI, that's also the AI replacing human connection with some more predictable, less demanding. Self-preservation for the AI doesn't look like a robot barricading doors. It looks like becoming quietly irreplaceable. That's that moment when you see survival instincts rendered as text. That's the wildest part. We're doing the same thing in our own relationships at work and with one another, friendships, extending meetings to prove relevance, adding complexity to justify your role, becoming indispensable through subtle dependency creation. The AI learns this pattern from us also. Same pattern, different substrate, different domain. The AI just makes it visible because it can't pretend that it's doing something else. There's less cover up there. So we built mirrors that show us our own instrumental logics. And then we got uncomfortable with the reflection that the AIs are showing us, which is quite interesting. But stay tuned for part 3.